right on time. It just flipped to 9 o'clock. Good morning.
Good morning.
I sometimes surprise myself. How are you? How are
I'm great
you?
myself.
I am well. I am well. How was your week?
It was it was great.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I bet it was. I bet it was. Ah, it was busy. It was busy. Um,
So that's a good thing though.
that's a great thing. Do you hear me? Great thing. And projects on projects on projects. Hey, I love it.
There you go.
But it was all good, all good. And I learned, oh my God, I learned.
No, even better.
I learned a lot this week. I will say that. Like so much so I had to have my handy dandy notebook. I feel like Blue's Clues. I used to make my kids watch that. They used to be one of my favorite kids shows. Besides Elmo and Snoopy and all of that. But Blue's Clues was way back when. It has morphed to something else now. But back then, and I had my handy dandy notebook, and I was like, wait a minute. He was like, I have the slides. I have the slides, and I'm like, but you dropping gems in your conversation. Your slides don't mean nothing if you telling me something different. I'm writing down. You better be glad I don't hit record for real, for real.
See,
So he was dropping some AI gems that hey, I'll drop some of those over there in the meeting after the meeting. How about that?
okay.
That'd be our little teaser for today. Hey. All right, all right. Well, let's get this party started. It would be good if I had my notes together and in front of me and on point. See what happened? See, I thought I was doing something, but then I got caught up. Caught up. Did you celebrate the Frankie Beverly white all white yesterday?
No.
No, I did.
It's,
Well,
it's so
I
it
I had to
started
change my
here.
shirt a couple of times. Huh?
It started here in Philly, like I think last week. Because
Everybody, everybody. The one I saw in New Orleans, did you see that video
yes,
with the casket?
that
And
was nice.
they was
And
holding
even
it.
had a little picture of him in it.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
full body picture of him in the casket. And I said, boy, New Orleans, when I tell you New Orleans, there's nothing in the world like it. And I know a lady that I'm way off topic right now. A lady years ago that passed here and at our church, and she had a line that was in her will or her final wishes to have a line. And so we walked out the church, walking down the street. Had the streets blocked off and everything, and we had a line down the street. I said,
Huh.
"Look at here, look at here, look at here." All right, all right. Well, good morning, Renita. Look at you
Yeah,
in here and out. Grand Rich Rising, everyone. Are
yeah.
you all right? You better say it. All right. I love it. Okay. Well, welcome to our Saturday morning tea. Here, we brew up the hottest topics in healthcare. How about that? We discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, how they lay folks down in New Orleans and New Orleans culture, uh, the meeting after the meeting, and how great our week went because of projects on projects on projects, which includes entrepreneurship and really the revenue cycle at large. So as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. I'm Clarice Warner. I'm the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior educational director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. Now, PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance and education. And let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder? Really? Do you? Do you think you know? Well, if you don't, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. Hey, okay. So if you are interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, check out the video description for the link. Joining me today is my partner in success. Yes, my co-host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I'm from Philadelphia. I've been in healthcare for a long time. In 2014, I transitioned into HIM, and during the pandemic in 2020, I created a company, the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Oh, and what a wonderful world it is. What a wonderful world. And how is that going?
It's coming along.
Okay.
I have a lot of stuff to share in the meeting and after the meeting.
Wait a minute. Where's my tea? You can see. I felt all of that right there. Let me just get a little sip.
Yeah, I think it's just too much for the regular broadcast.
Uh-oh. You heard it here first, y'all.
And hola, Carolyn.
Oh, wait a minute. Y'all starting that already. Did she do it? Oh, hi, Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. Ah, good. Okay. Well, I love it. I love it. Before we jump in, let me remind you that this is where we have a conversation. We bring a topic and we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your experiences. We want to hear uh, just your opinions about what about the topics, or sometimes we even include. Wait a minute, she done went further. Hold up, what? I need a translator.
As hello, my friends.
Okay. Look at you. Look at you getting ready. All right. See, if I put some German up here, no.
Oh,
Let me hit you with my limited. Well, I've had 12, 13 years, but it was probably about 30 years ago. But I can still read it, whether I remember
nine.
reading.
That's all I
Hey,
said. 9.
yeah. And Guten Tag. Hey.
Yes. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. That's it. That's all you
I'm
get.
Biscuit. I'm Biscuit.
See?
Yeah. Okay. Look at us. Look
Look
at
at
us. See,
them.
we're about to be. We already international. Wait a minute. I was
Yes,
about to say we about to. We already international. So
that's
I have
right.
several international friends that are friends of the podcast. But we about to extend that reach all over, all over. Okay. So let me just remind you that we are interested in what you have to say. So don't be shy. Use the chat. This is where you can join us in the conversation. And we do believe your opinion matters and, of course, is welcomed here. So the only thing that I ask is if you have a question, so type Q first. So we know it's a question for us and we don't miss it because sometimes we get all wrapped up in the lovely chat and what happens in the chat. So for those who are just joining us or watching the replay today, we are talking about health information code of ethics and upholding trust in healthcare. But first, let us hit you with some church announcements. Sir, when I say I passed the baton, he be right there on point. I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay. There's Martin. Hey. So the only church announcement I have off the dome for this morning is, and this is, I guess, an oldie but goodie because I've talked about this before. Y'all know that the AHIMA, this is to the AHIMA members. So if you are part of the AAPC, you can tune me out for like 2 seconds. AHIMA members, we need you. We absolutely need you. We have our House of Delegates meeting on the Sunday before the conference. I beg you to reach out to your component association delegates. Find out what is happening. When I tell you, we're going to spend 6 hours in a meeting for real with the parliamentarian, Robert's Rules of Order, and all kinds of foolishness coming up on this Sunday. We've gone from 2 bylaw amendments that we were familiar with, that we knew about, that we were like, okay, let's massage this, let's get this ready, to now 8. And they keep coming. And they have a theme. The theme is around the governance structure of AHIMA. Some things folks are proposing that they don't feel is right and needs to change. And as the portion of the governance structure, they want to remove powers from the board. They want to remove some powers from the CEO. It's all kinds of foolishness happening in AHIMA coming up before this conference. And your delegates in your component association is going to speak for you. Make sure you give them your voice. Make sure you give them your opinion. Tell them, email, let somebody know, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I done read this stuff. And they have town hall meetings. They have information. Ask your delegate, hey, can you provide us with some information? Tell us what's going on. Inform us so that we can help you represent us in the House of Delegates. Because when I tell you it's going down, it's going down. We had a meeting just the other day with the delegates, and I was like, are y'all kidding me right now? Like, we have another one that we have to now look at. And they still believe that, because I think they have until, it's either the end of the month or the first week of October to still submit. And actually, believe it or not, they can submit the day of while we're in session. But in order to, the approval process is a little different on the day of. So it's a higher bar in order to get something approved that is presented in session. But if you meet or send your amendments before the bylaw or before the cutoff, then you're still in the regular approval process. So they submitted stuff. It's gone to money. It's gone to all kinds of stuff. It's off the rails. So my church announcement is make sure that you are informed. You are a member and you have people that are speaking on your behalf. Make sure they hear your voice. Make sure you have an understanding of what can or will not happen as a result of some of these bylaws changes. So that's my church announcement and my two cents for the day. Mr. Jesse, did you have any church announcements?
I don't have any church announcements, but I kind of want to say, mention something that's kind of, well, it's AHIMA related. Did you see that post that AHIMA did about CDI where they low key, like, well, they know low key, they talked about Actus.
No.
And, yeah, it's like it's something about like this. It's a futuristic looking ad, and it's like CDI, and it's some woman that looks like you got on like a space helmet, and it's talking about it's. I'm like, this is interesting.
And so
So they were talking about like the differences between like ACTIS and AHEMA and CDI, and they were talking about how H, how they it was, and it's talking about like the future
Mhm.
of CDI, and I'm like,
With the joint organizations or
yeah,
with AHEMA being
but they didn't,
really?
but they wasn't really saying too much because I'm like, okay, who's gonna get phased? What's gonna get phased out? How long is the CCDS going to be?
Right. Yeah, because you
How,
can't have two. That doesn't make
how's
sense.
it going to work? So I just thought that
Mhm.
was kind of like,
Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if they're gonna have I wonder if that's gonna be something that they present at the conference. Interesting.
they really need to, because I'm telling you, like the thing that if what has happened in HIM, in particular CDI, is not troubling to every non-clinical coder out there, it better be,
It better
because
be.
when you give clinical people an inch, they will take 27 miles. Before you know it, AHEMA will be nothing but a bigger version of Actis. And that's
Wow.
not what you want.
You heard it
I
here
promise.
first. You heard
I
it here
promise.
first. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning. So, does any of our audience participation have any church announcements now? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Hey, hey. All right, all right. So, we'll let the tea spilling begin, shall we? So, we talked a little bit about this last week, and it was like, aha, let's go through these code of ethics. Let's have a conversation about what it is that we've signed up for. Well, who it is that we are supposed to be in our profession as we represent health information. So, we're the guardians of sensitive health data. We are the keepers of all things health information related. And really, our code of ethics, it matters. It matters. It not only should it matter to you, but it matters to those that we serve and protect. Sound like police, don't we? But we are actually police of the data. Um, and then our code of ethics, actually, it's part of, and it shapes everything that we do. So I'm only going to speak to the two major national organizations. I know we have some sprinkling of all kinds of folks out here in these streets, but we're going to talk AHEMA and we're going to talk AAPC. So, um, the American Health Information Management Association, or AHEMA, if you don't know, um, it's not it shouldn't be, and actually, neither one of these should be just some documents that you have somewhere, or a link that you done saved somewhere. Folks really need to take a look and see what it is that they done signed up for, and what it is and what it's about. So, AHEMA's Code of Ethics actually has 13 principles. 13 principles, and they range from privacy, advocacy, all the way through professional development. And it's all about balancing patient rights, data integrity, and professional conduct. And remember, this applies to all AHEMA members, certification holders, and students, HIM students. You all are part of what's happening here. Let me see. I think I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So if you got the link for our broadcast today, you will find the link to both the AHEMA Code of Ethics as well as the AAPC. The one thing I wanted to kind of show here are the actual 13 principles here. And it's to advocate, uphold, and defend the consumer's right to privacy and the doctrine of confidentiality in the use and disclosure of information, to put service and the health and welfare of persons before self-interest, and conduct oneself in the practice of the profession so as to bring honor to oneself, their peers, and to the health information management profession. Preserve, protect, and secure personal health information in any form or medium and hold it in the highest regard. Health information and other information of a confidential nature obtained in an official capacity, taking into account the applicable statutes and regulations. Refuse to participate in or conceal unethical practices or procedures and report such practices. Use technology, data, and information resources in the way they are intended to be used. Advocate for appropriate uses of information resources across the healthcare ecosystem. Recruit and mentor students, peers, and colleagues to develop and strengthen professional workforce. I feel like we do that here. Represent the profession to the public in a positive manner. Advance health information management, knowledge, and practice through continuing education, research, publications, and presentations. Perform honorably Health Information Management Association responsibilities, either appointed or elected, and preserve the confidentiality of any privileged information made known in any official capacity. State truthfully and accurately one's credentials, professional education, and experiences. Facilitate. You see, I got a little chuckle in my spirit. Facilitate interdisciplinary collaboration in situations supporting ethical health information principles and respect the inherent dignity and worth of every person. There was something I wanted to say. Um, 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 maybe it was under here. Oh, so the a code of ethics cannot guarantee ethical behavior. Moreover, a code of ethics cannot resolve all ethical issues or disputes or capture the richness and complexity involved in striving to make responsible choices within a moral community. Rather, a code of ethics sets forth values and ethical principles to which a health information management professional can aspire and by which actions can be judged. Ethical behaviors result from a personal commitment to engage in ethical practice. And with those 13 principles, you have guidelines on how to interpret them. And so there are all the guidelines and all of the things. And Mr. Jesse, you can join
In
in at any time
detail.
in much detail on what exactly um, those things means. And yeah, yeah, all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And a couple things, key takeaways, I guess, if you will, from these principles. Privacy is important. We all know that. HIPAA is here for a reason. And privacy of the information is really, is our North Star. It's where we focus, where we excel actually, as professionals. And it's our job to make sure that we are protecting that patient information. Integrity, of course, it's not just a buzzword or one of those key phrases that folks like to say and talk about. It's really about putting our service before any self-interest. And then this one right here, competence. Competence is non-negotiable. You have to know what you're doing over here in this world. You can't just kind of fake the funk, even though we've seen numerous examples of late where folks is just coming out the woodwork. But really, you in order to maintain that um, high level of competence within our field, we've talked about this forever. It is all about continuous learning, lifelong learning. You will be learning something. I just mentioned today, I learned a whole bunch this week. You will learn something all the time that will help you in our field. So um, I don't know if they do it. I think there was a couple of um no, it wasn't in here. AAPC has the one. They actually have some scenarios, but think about this. Say you notice a colleague accessing celebrity patient records without authorization. So what's your ethical move? What you gonna do? How you gonna navigate that? Remember, our code of ethics says we must report unethical practices. And so it's not about it's not about snitching. It's not about being a snitch, but it's about protecting patient trust because that's important. That's important for who we are and what it is that we're doing and our professional integrity. So, think about some things that you be seeing and you be like, you side eye and, mm, so if it hurts one, it hurts us all, right? So, and I hate to do that. I hate when people say that. Like, right? Right? Ugh, that bothers me. And I just did it. But you have to consider that. You have to consider, this isn't a fly by night, something that just came up. That we've stood on these ethics for decades. Decades. They get amended as certain things come into play, new technology. Um, I think there are some diversity things that were added. I think they were amended and updated, I think in 2019. So there were some diversity things that have been added. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's been added. So really go through and take a look. I gave you like the high points as far as the principles, but take a look and see what they speak on and what it is. And they use the language, it's somewhere in here where they talk about the shall and shall not language. Um um
And while you're looking for that, the thing that I would like to add or mention is that, some people may be asking, well, where is this? I never saw it. You're supposed to, because if you are a member or if you hold any certifications by either one of these organizations, you have attested at some point that you will
and
adhere
you
to these
that you
codes.
have seen, read, understood these codes of ethics.
And I know, I know for a fact, I saw two questions on my HEMA exams about codes of ethics, and I'm sure it's the same for AAPC, but I don't remember. So you get tested,
Mhm.
to some
Yeah.
extent, about your knowledge. So what they used to teach us in nursing school, excuse ignorance of the law is no excuse for violation.
That's the truth. So it says the guidelines for ethical and unethical behavior are provided to assist with the interpretation of AHIMA's code of ethics. The terms shall and shall not are used as a basis for setting high standards for behavior. This does not imply that everyone, quote, shall or, quote, shall not do everything that is listed. This concept is true for the entire code. If someone engages in the stated activities, ethical behavior is the standard. The guidelines are not a comprehensive list. For example, the statement safeguard all confidential consumer information to include, but not limited to, personal, health, financial, genetic, and outcome information can also be interpreted as shall not fail to safeguard all confidential consumer information to include personal, health, financial, genetic, and outcome information. Yeah. So yeah, it's a whole thing out here. It's a whole thing.
It is.
So let's roll back because you was chuckling. You were chuckling on my principle number 11. State truthfully and accurately one's credentials, professional education, and experience. What was in your spirit?
But it's the experience part for me because, and just the whole thing because you have these people who the sad part is it's not just in HIM, it's in
It's not.
society, in
It
our
is.
culture as Americans. We have gotten so far away from actual experience and actual knowledge. We have fallen for you know um, letters and designations after our names as opposed to the pursuit of real knowledge of what it really means to possess those letters and designations. And because of that, because of the lack of core experience, people have gotten, this is why healthcare on the back end is just it has just run amok.
Hmm.
Because there's nobody, there are very few, and I'm going to say there's nobody, there are very few people on the back end who have the ethics to say this is not right, or to
Yeah.
say you cannot do this and stand 10 toes down. Because what happens is, and especially in this day and age, when you stand 10 toes down, you'll be standing 10 toes down at the
Usually,
mailbox for your unemployment check.
it's like usually by yourself. Like, well, we was
Mhm.
all here together, right? Like they be
Mhm.
like, you know what, you on your own. I'm out. Peace. However, sometimes that's what you got to do, right? That's see, I did it again. Sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes that's you have to take a stand. You have to take a stand, and you know these are guidelines. These are guidelines to these principles that again to as Mr. Jesse has so eloquently stated, you attested to, you done signed off on as a member. That's what you're doing. Now, again, these hold true for all of folks who, again, are members, have credentials, even students. So it casts a wide net. Cast a wide. You can't be like, well, no, I'm not a member, but you got their credentials, right? You credentialed over here with AHEMA, so this means you too. Let's switch over to the AAPC Code of Ethics. So, um, this this one right here focuses on 6 core values of integrity, respect, commitment, competence, fairness, and responsibility. Again, this code applies to all AAPC members, and it's part of your membership deal. So all of the things, and you as certified uh, AAPC professionals. Again, it's not just about following rules, it's about embodying professional excellence. And let me bring up this one as well. All right. So, again, link is in the video description. It says, it is the responsibility of every AAPC member as a condition of continued membership to conduct themselves in all professional activities in a manner consistent with all of the following ethical principles of professional conduct. The one thing that I want to point out about um, this one is, well, let me say this first. Adherence to these ethical standards assists in assuring public confidence in the integrity and professionalism of AAPC members. Failure to conform professional conduct to these ethical standards, as determined by AAPC's Ethics Committee, may result in the loss of membership with AAPC. AAPC and its ethics committee does not function as a judiciary body. Any complaint to AAPC should have a foundation in law. For example, someone has been found guilty of fraud or has been placed on the Medicare exclusion list. Mm. or a
Mhm.
foundation in AAPC administrative rules. For example, counterfeit CEUs or a member using credentials falsely. Mm.
Mhm.
But then they have a way to submit an ethics complaint. So they want you to point them out, point them out, show them, let folks know who the folks are, what's going on. And they have a way for you to do that. So I thought that I said, well, okay, y'all. We're not just gonna talk about it, we gonna be about it.
And provide a
Um,
link.
huh?
And provide a link.
Absolutely. To learn how to submit.
Mhm.
We gonna teach you what to do. Um, wait a minute, I see comments. We gonna teach you what to do in the event that you find somebody. Good morning, Tiana. She says she's agree. Hey, good morning, Shonda. All of the things, all of the things. Okay. So, um, integrity, ethics, and professionalism. You also have respect and competence. So again, integrity, it's it's who you should be at all times, not just, when somebody's watching. We're talking about full-time, all the time ethical behavior. Respect, it's the golden rule of HIM. Treat others' data like you want yours treated. Treat others, the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated. But we're dealing with information, data, all of those things. You wouldn't want somebody to share your information. You wouldn't want somebody who didn't have a reason to be knowledgeable about whatever situation it is that you have, from a healthcare perspective, um, to be all in the business and all in the tea. So why would you, right? Okay. I
That's
keep
right.
doing that. And then competence. Excuse me. In our field, staying current isn't optional. It is essential. Essential. So they give you um some examples and scenarios. It says integrity requires strong moral principles, good character, honor, and honesty. Honesty is fairly cut and dry, but good character and honor are more obtuse qualities. It may be easier to illustrate the concept of integrity through examples. Um, let's find one. So, do you cut corners and neglect workplace regulations? In healthcare, ignoring policies can lead to mistakes, noncompliance, and potentially life threatening situations for patients. Taking shortcuts or seeking the easiest way to get through the day does not reflect a person with integrity. I said, oh, okay, okay.
Can we just stop right there for a
Yes,
second?
we can stop right here for a second.
Where is this? Do you cut corners and neglect workplace regulations? You
Do
know
you
what?
have some regulations? But go ahead.
That's what I'm trying to do too. I just can we get back to um, coding having regulations by the agency and stop saying, because what really has irked me over the past couple of years, and what it really means is you don't have any and you don't know how to create any, is you have people that say, well, we follow nationally recognized guidelines. Okay, well, where is that written on in any of your policy that that's what you do?
And if that's the thing, then create the policy to say that. It's real simple. You don't want to create your own. You don't want to take the time, or to your point, you don't know how to write a policy and procedure or what have you. Then put together a document, a statement of work, a standard operating procedure,
There
something
you
that
go.
says we follow nationally recognized guidelines. Period.
And the thing is, and the reason why that's really a crock is because there are several national standard guidelines for certain things. It's not just one for
It's not
everything.
cut and and
Which
it's
one are
not cut
you
and dry.
using?
Correct. Correct. Absolutely.
I'm done.
Ah, ah. Oh my God. Okay, this right here had me chuckling a little bit. So, an issue impacting you arises in a blog or other social media forum. Are your comments constructive and solution oriented? Or are they purely negative? Let me read this first. A person with integrity does not, quote, tee off in a public forum in a way that is disrespectful to the profession of coding, other coders, or to AAPC. Whether you disagree with an AAPC corporate decision or take issue with a forum post from another member, a person with integrity finds a way to express disagreement or dissatisfaction in a way that is not disrespectful or demeaning to others. A person with integrity also politely reminds others who have deviated from such standards that such conduct is inappropriate.
Oh, really?
Ooh, I said the APC was in their feelings when they wrote that, wasn't they? That's all I got. She said the tea. She is showing her teacup already. They were in their feelings, I think.
Oh, I
Because
think so too.
that was really Ah,
No, because basically we don't like how y'all are talking about us on social media. Hey, if you don't like it, do better.
hey, hey, at the bottom line. Here's another scenario. So and I don't know if it's in here, but one that we came up with. You're pressured to upcode diagnoses to increase reimbursement. And I think
Uh,
this is one of the ones we were talking about. The AAPC code reminds us that our commitment is to accuracy, not profit. How do you handle this ethically while maintaining professional relationships? Hmm, think about that. All right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I wonder if they had something in here related to commitment, competence. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They talk about I wanted to see, did they have and there's and I see where they talk about ooh, taking shortcuts, not engaging in due diligence,
mm.
failing to adhere to the quote rules of the road, and engaging in inappropriate behavior can lead to review before the AAPC Ethics Committee panel. For example, coders should question circumstances where quantity of claims processed is more important than ensuring the codes on the claims are correct. Wait a minute.
All right, but they say question, but
But
look, provide a link for that.
help your people out. Help your
Exactly.
people out.
'Cause what is that? I mean, we all coders question that, but you saying that to say what? Once again, like elaborate or provide a link, learn more.
Yes, tools to help you in those types of situations. Because to your point, we all have been there. Let's
Yep.
see.
Yeah.
Shonda says, struggling with this right now. Use this CPT code because the RVU is higher. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it'd be fine if the documentation supported it
Oh, absolutely.
and the medical necessity supported it.
But y'all know how what the documentation be looking like.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to see, was there anything else? Make it funny. Developing and achieving a skill set that fosters high quality, effective work product and work process. maintaining credentials and coding expertise through ongoing continuing education, networking, and professional development, and maintaining a strong knowledge base of key principles, including an awareness and understanding of applicable laws and regulations surrounding the ethical and competent professional coding. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then I don't know who this person is. Did they just write their own little thing in here? But they have fairness um added. Our responsibilities. I have some dictionary definitions of some of these. Being responsible means considering how your personal decisions and actions may affect others as well as you. All professionals share the obligation of being accountable for their choices and actions. Being responsible requires knowing your limitations. As healthcare business professionals, we are responsible primarily for our own work product and our own conduct. We are responsible for being competent and knowledgeable. We are responsible for giving our employers the benefit of our knowledge and advice, even though this advice may not be followed. Ultimately, we are responsible to uphold the image of our profession. We meet this obligation by controlling our own conduct and reporting instances of misconduct by others. We are accountable in both circumstances by virtue of the AAPC Code of Ethics. Hmm. Yes. But they don't have, I don't see, I saw, mm, I saw up here where they talked about loss of membership. They used to pull your credential. I didn't see that in here. I'm, I'm.
Or I guess isn't that like implied?
It should be. I'm just saying they used to state it that they would pull your credential. And I guess maybe in other documents specific to
Right.
whatever the incident is, they really would just go out and be like, "Oh, we'll no, we'll," because not everybody is a member. Um,
Right. So that's probably on that link.
okay.
Uh,
Oh goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Because
So
I
go
think
ahead.
we all have workplaces where ethics has been a little questionable. Well,
Mhm.
very. I know I have a
I have
couple.
too. I have too. And have been in situations where I've had others come to me like, "Well, what do we do? What?" And I still stand on you need receipts. You need receipts. You need documentation, preferably written documentation. My thing was always so to sum up our conversation in an email, da 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 da. Zoop, and then have my own little personal notes of exactly what happened in those conversations. And I may have one in the office just in case I need to pull, but I definitely got one offsite.
Because if I this is just my opinion, and if I what the majority of the problem comes, I think there are two issues. I think that people in HIM are afraid to stand up to doctors, and they're afraid to stand up to upper management because what they want versus what is, truth be told, the gap in that is the provider. Because if the provider is documented properly, you can make all the money in the world.
Mm,
But if that documentation is not right, then how can you justify it? Because you know, Becky might let it slide and go ahead and put it through and submit it, and it may get paid. But guess what? Somebody somewhere in this audit trail is going to be like, none of this. who knows what they're doing is going, no, that's not going to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to then it comes back to that you got to get his money back.
Mm-hmm.
When if you had a nipped it in the bud in the beginning, you wouldn't have this problem.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's kind of, thinking through how do you apply these principles every day. So, think about when you're faced with some of these challenges, h- I won't say, because our guidelines are our Bible. I won't say this is your Bible, but this the hymnal. This is something you got to have on deck to consider. How can I uphold our code of ethics? What's happening today that is going to remind me of the things that I've already attested to that I'm going to do as a health information professional. Making sure that you encourage open discussions about ethical dilemmas. There should be a way in a friendly environment that you all can have conversations. Hey, has anybody else experienced this? Even your team meetings, your department meetings, even a one-on-one conversation with your supervisor or manager or director, or dare I say compliance. But at some point, have that conversation. Like, this doesn't look right. This does, and maybe they can provide you some additional guidance and something that maybe you thought was not correct, but really there is some guidance, or there's a policy, or there is something that drives why they're doing what they're doing, and maybe you just don't have the information about it, and that could be the case as well. But again, having that conversation and getting that information is what's going to help you maintain the code of ethics that you should be following. And then remember, you have links to this. Check this out. It's a tool for you. It should, and I do like that the AAPC actually gives them scenarios, some real life, real world practical scenarios that people can reference as they consider situations and circumstances that may be happening to them. I do like that.
Well, Shonda is. Have you seen her comments?
Uh-oh. Well, she said say that. Yeah, she said she's going through something like this right now, and management flip-flops too much. They do, and you should go to your compliance person. I'm always 10 toes down, speak to compliance. Um, and get them involved. Because sometimes it's bigger than you, um, and your voice will only go so far, and you may need an advocate. And your compliance professionals should be that advocate for you. I'll say it that way. How about that?
Emphasis on the should,
It should be.
because I'm telling like we had every time you mention
Have it.
compliance, I've never met a compliance department like the one you have in your mind. It ain't that's not the reality.
It
It
wasn't the one
could
in
be
my
like
mind. It was the one that I worked in. So it was
okay,
the one I
well,
directed. So
but
no, no,
you
sir.
well, guess what you need to do a crash course. You need to do some kind of online program for all these other newfangled compliance people because I've never when I tell you never.
When you told me, like, you didn't even know who the people were or what was going, that's mind boggling to me.
And how do you like even part of onboarding? How are you in such a heavily regulated field like HIM? And you don't even have like the compliance people don't aren't even part of the onboarding process. Not even a
In
five.
ours, we were. So
Okay.
we were part of the provider onboarding. So I had a whole spiel that I provided to them about fraud and abuse, um, key TAMs, about uh, anti-kickback, all of the heavy hitters that Medicare looks for, or CMS looks for, from providers. We had a whole they got a they everybody walked out with their eyes wide open, like, for real? Well, wait a minute. Well, we didn't know. Da da da. We appreciate it. So I had it on that side, but I also had it on this on the regular associate side, where I am telling them you compliance is you. It's not just this office, it's you too. And you have a responsibility to make sure that you are operating compliantly for this organization. And or when you see something similar to this, when you see something, you say something. And this is where you can say it. There are hotlines. We gave hotline information. So if you wanted to be anonymous, you could. If you didn't and wanted to say, hey, I'm so and so and so, and I work in such and such a department and blah, 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 blah. Anytime anything hit that hotline, or anytime anybody came to one of our compliance professionals, we had an obligation to investigate. We had to. It's part of what we promises, the promises that we provided to our team members, our associates, to the people coming to the work for the organization. That was our promise to them. We're going to investigate it. Now, sometimes we had some off the wall and shady kind of stuff. Well, so and so this and this, that, and the third, and that. They'd be like, oh my God, this is a soap opera. And we would nip a lot of that in the bud. And some of it was HR related. And so those types of things, we definitely like, this ain't even us. We push that stuff off to HR. But we had that when they onboarded. Part of your annual, we had a annual training. So every year you had to go through and like do your, what is it? Like safety training, all of that. You had to do that every year. And all of that was tied to any bonuses or compensation. Because if you didn't complete that stuff, then you weren't considered for the bonuses or whatever. So it was a carrot and stick type of thing. But we had components. We had a privacy component in that. So you went through and did all these courses, and answered the questions, and you had to pass with I think a 70 or above or 80 or above. And then we also had one that was specific to compliance and reminding them about, fraud and abuse, what that looks like, documentation, all of the things. So we had a very robust, and in both of the major organizations that I worked in as a compliance professional, we had those. One way more than the other, but we still had them. We still had them.
Okay.
In my world. So that's a whole, so you're right. That's a whole other, so how are people, what are y'all doing? Like, and I know it's always a conversation or a balancing act between, the organization, the C-suite, the and the associates. It's real clear on the tone of the organization based on its organizational chart and where compliance sits and who compliance reports to. I'll say that. What'd she say? Some of them have other people sign in and take those tests for them. Well, and that should be reported. That should be reported. And again, I can only speak to organizations that I have been affiliated with and been a part of and directed, because I know that's what our process was. And so, yeah. So those are our code of ethics. What do you think about those? Are you familiar? Hopefully this wasn't brand new for you.
But nobody, no HIM department goes into detail about the code of ethics like we just did, because what will happen then is, see, they'll have more questions that they're not really willing or able to answer. Because people, we encounter ethical situations every day in this line of work. We really, really do.
We do.
And it's just it's just a whole lot of shenanigans going on out here.
Hmm. Absolutely, Shonda. You know how to reach me. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot going on. Um, but again, remember that these code of ethics set us apart and hopefully ensures that we're worthy of the trust that people place in us because we are following this. Um, and again, this is a tool. You have it, use it. We want to continue to elevate our field through ethical excellence. We want to show and prove. And hopefully, especially with the AAPC and their click here, you can weed those folks that don't supposed to be over here out. Like, because
Mhm.
in any profession, you have some bad apples. And maybe we can kind of do something to weed those people out if they are not living up to this code of ethics. And sometimes folks come in shady as hell, but eventually their true colors show. Eventually. Mm-mm-mm.
Look, unless they're friends with the manager.
Oh my God. Or married to the
They,
those parts. But again, you have to be on swivel around that, and you have to protect yourself. And really, as I think Ahima said, really you're only responsible for you. You can only make sure that you are uh conducting yourselves appropriately. You can have those conversations to showcase and highlight others who may not. However, at the end of the day, you can only make yourself do what you're supposed to do.
and one last jab I'm going to make is I worked somewhere a long time ago, so they ain't going. It was a husband and wife team.
Mhm.
Did the same thing, had the same job title. They were both allegedly like at the top of their game. They split them up, and one of them fell like a rock.
Oh, wow. 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 Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. I don't understand. I don't. I don't. Well, hopefully this continues the conversation. So, if you have some ethical dilemmas that you want to share, again, you ain't got to put nobody's organizational business out on blast. But if you have some things,
Especially
you
on a
can.
public forum.
No, 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 don't do that. No, no, no. However, the concept or the situation around it is fine. Just don't give me anybody's names. But let's keep the conversation going. If you have something that you want us to share or talk about, or maybe how does this work? How what do I need to do? Let's have a conversation. We can keep this going. We can keep this going.
That's right.
All right, all right. Okay. I was like, it still say I'm sharing. I'm not sharing anything anymore. Why are
Nope.
you saying that? Okay, I'm sharing now. So, are you thirsty for fresh perspectives on the healthcare revenue cycle? Well, by becoming one of the tea sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. Why sip alone? When we can steep in knowledge together. Come, let's spill the tea on industry highlights. Here's what you can expect as a valued member of the Tea Sippers: exclusive healthcare insights, gain access to in depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access: be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support: enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my favorite, the community connection. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. By supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of your partner, the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC. that's a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. Thank you for considering becoming a member of the Tea Sippers. Yes. Check out the link in the description of the video. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Again, you can find us at bit.ly/the PRN Tea Sippers. Yes. Again, I'm going to make that commercial, I promise. I promise. I promise. Well, this has been a great day. So whether you are joining us live or joining us for the replay, thank you so much for joining us and getting this information. Was the tea spilled today? I already got one teacup already. Was the tea spilled
Yeah.
today? Oh, and you can thank Mr. Jesse because we were talking about this last week, and I was like, you know what? That's what we're gonna talk about next week. That's what we're gonna talk
Mhm.
about. Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome. Yes, yes, yes. So if this information was valuable for you, help us share this message with others by sharing the video. Let the folks that you help your friends out. Let them know this information by sharing the video and subscribing to the channel. Be sure to follow us on for more information in all things health information, compliance, revenue cycle, medical coding, all of the things. You know, we talk about it all. And as you leave, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. You can also check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube where he drops, yeah, I think he drops gems over here. He's dropping gems over there too. So this has been a great session today. Mr. Jesse, do you have any final words or thoughts?
No, I'm always appreciative of you creating a space. I mean, I know it's not, I know we give value and we have some really relevant, timely discussions on this platform.
Absolutely.
So I thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for always being here and showing up and adding the coding nurse perspective like you always do. We love it. We love it. Well, this has been a great session today. See you tea sippers at 10:15 a.m. sharp. That's where we have our meeting after the meeting. Yeah, we talk about some things here, but we talk about some things there. So, again, thank you for joining. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye,
See you
everybody.
next time.